Hey everyone, Tyler McAnany from Vectr Solutions here, and I'm joined today by Sami Dunkle and Jess Wallech from the Vectr Solutions team. We're going to be talking about something that comes up all the time with the teams we work with, Slack versus Teams. Most of what's out there comparing the two frames it as which chat app is better, who's got better threads, better video calls. But I want to start somewhere different with you two because I don't think this captures the main question people should be asking.
Yeah, it's not totally the right question. It's not really what we're thinking when we're trying to help a client decide which tool is going to work better for them.
Right. The real question is which one becomes the actual place your org work gets done, the single interface to everything you already run. So, Salesforce, Tableau, Jira, whatever your stack already is, not a new tool bolted on top of your existing systems, but the front door to all of them. We call it a command center sometimes or a headless CRM, the UI layer sitting in front of everything else. So, nobody has to log into different systems just to get one thing done.
Okay, so Command Center and Headless CRM are both doing a lot of work in that sentence. So break that down for me. What does that actually look like in practice?
So first, you connect it to your org, which is quick and easy. You're not looking at something drawn out or in a big IT lift. It will link with whatever you're already running. So once that's in place, instead of opening 5 tabs to check on an account or a case, you just ask Slack, and Slack goes and searches the information from this actual system of record. And this is the part that people miss. It's not just notifications. It's not, hey, something's happened, go check it for yourself. It's full actions happening in the conversation itself. It's creating a record, updating it, closing it out without ever even leaving the Slack chat.
And that's going to be what's most important for a lot of our public sector and GovCon teams because every extra login or extra system that is going to have you have a context switch can cause friction in that process. So that's really where GovSlack is going to come in because none of this is going to come at the cost of security. It's still FedRAMP High authorized, still supporting DoD IL High 4, IL High 5 with ITAR, CUI, CMMC, all of that is going to be built in already. So if the work can happen in one place where your team is already spending time, it's not just convenient, it's going to be security and efficiency at the same time.
And it's only one SKU. So it's transparent pricing. So all this command center behavior we're talking about isn't just some premium add-on tier. It's just what you get.
Yeah, that all sounds great in concept, but ground it for me. Where has this actually played out for you two?
Yeah, one project that we've actually seen this play out is with the Salesforce GPS for bid management. So instead of someone having to live inside of Salesforce tracking every stage of a bid, the whole thing is going to be surfaced through Slack. Notifications, reminders, and automations have all been created by our team to take the place of manual effort that the bid management team was having to do. This team manages a huge number of records, so any support to speed up the process has been very welcomed.
Yeah, this was actually a really amazing example of using Slack to truly automate and be a one-stop shop. Because previously, bid managers and AEs had to go back and forth from Salesforce to Slack to communicate and make updates. And now they can create and make updates to a Salesforce record, automatically create Slack channels, and send the Slack messages all without having to leave Slack. And that's pretty much the headless CRM idea in one example. The logic, the data, all of that still lives in Salesforce. Nobody's ripping that out, but nobody has to open Salesforce to interact with it either. Slack's just the interface.
So what does that free the bid team up to focus on instead?
It's going to give them more time to qualify the provided data rather than spending time on those administrative tasks, like just mentioned, like creating a Slack channel for communication for every opportunity that comes through their door.
Okay, so that's the client side, but you two don't just set this up for clients though. You use it internally too, right? What does that look like day to day?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in the process of developing a couple cool support updates, but one that we use most often has been our PTO request tracker. So we have a Slack workflow that our team is using to request PTO, and it automatically sends a notification to our leadership team. The leadership team can approve or reject the request directly in Slack. Upon approval, the employee Google Calendar and our time tracking system run are both updated with the employee's time off. So instead of having to add updates in 3 separate systems, we just click a couple buttons in Slack and then leadership can kick off the rest of the process. We also have another process that we're creating for our business development team to support opportunity and account creation in Salesforce.
Yeah, we're also developing a Salesforce certification tracking tool so leadership can manage and track the Salesforce certifications that our employees are scheduling and taking. This assists our company with keeping up with compliance as a Salesforce partner, which is something that we have to do. And that's a decent proof point because it's not just a sales pitch, it's just how we actually run things on a day-to-day basis. If it wasn't actually useful, we would not have built our own workflow around it.
Yeah, and that's a good gut check. You're not describing something hypothetical. You're describing something you use on your own typical Tuesday. So, where else is this showing up? Is this a one-off thing you guys have gotten clever with, or does this repeat across other tools too?
It shows up everywhere. Tableau reports pull with the chat command. Salesforce cases get resolved in real time from the same conversation. Jira tickets get created, update, closed without switching tools. The no code workflows get built without needing a developer to sit down and write something custom.
Yeah, we're not finding just one integration that we like to demo. We're finding consistent patterns and basically whatever app your org already runs and seeing it in Slack.
Okay, so now everything you've described is Slack, but I have to ask the obvious follow-up because people are watching are thinking it is, doesn't Teams do this too?
To be fair, yes, it can technically, but there is a real gap between what's possible on paper and what it actually takes to get there. With Slack, this kind of deep integration is already included and it's something that's a lot easier to manage. With Teams, getting to that same experience usually means additional licensing tiers, extra add ons, and a lot more setup work for your IT team before you're actually using it this way.
So maybe same capability on the feature list, but a completely different story once you actually try to stand it up.
Exactly. It's not that teams can't get there, it's that the path is longer and costs more than people are expecting going in. And beyond the integration piece, this lines up with a lot of what we hear from people using teams day to day. Things like performance slowing down once a team gets larger, notifications getting missed or buried, channels getting cluttered and hard to navigate over time. We're not saying this to pile on, it's just consistently the kind of feedback that comes up.
Gotcha. So what about a team that wants to skip a vendor entirely and self-host something like Rocket Chat instead?
Yeah, and that can be a real option, but it's going to have its own set of trade-offs that people don't like to think necessarily through up front. You have to run this on your own servers, so you're going to have an additional cost just from day one. And then your team from now on is going to own the patching and maintenance going forward. So because you're hosting sensitive data most of the time, you're responsible for that instead of a vendor. So a lot of organizations end up needing additional insurance or liability coverage because if something goes wrong, that responsibility is going to sit with you. Things that are out of the box in Gov Slack have become custom development projects on something like Rocket Chat.
Okay, so across both, it's really about what's technically possible and more what it costs to get you there, the time, the money, and the risk. So, Jess and Sammy, if someone were to remember one thing from this conversation, what should that be?
I think they should remember that this was never really about which chat app has better threads or nicer video calls. It's about which platform actually becomes the one interface for everything your org already runs, a true one stop shop.
Yeah, what it's coming down to is combining your processes in one place so that everything can run smoother. We're not trying to replace your systems with Slack. It's becoming a front door to access all of them.
Well, Sammy, Jess, thank you both. I really appreciate you taking the time today. And anyone watching, if you want to see what this looks plugged into your own Slack, we'd be glad to walk you through it.
Yeah, we'd love to. Thank you.
Anytime.